Hi, welcome to my West Midlands garden here in the UK. It's the last day of March 2026 and it's officially spring. So it's goodbye to winter and hello to new beginnings and hopefully some warmer days. So the flowers have gone from the sarcococca, which gave me a lovely scent over the winter. But now the plant is looking lovely and lush. My fern has yet to wake up. It's usually one of the last ferns to unfurl, but it's my favourite fern in the garden, so I'm happy to wait. In terms of scent, it's my skimmias that have provided me with that over the past few weeks. The winter berries have been replaced with this cloud of flowers, which I don't really like. It's a bit blousy for me, but they do smell beautiful. As I walk past, I get a sweet perfume, which mostly comes from this little one. It's got the deserved name of Fragrant Cloud. Over the winter, this whole area is filled with plants I had taken from my garden. Most of these have been planted back into the garden now, so it's nice to have some space. I do need to still tidy up the patio and give it a good clean. I've removed one of my DIY planters and made the remaining one look a bit more purposeful. I found these bricks in the garden a few years back and I thought they were really beautiful, so I'm glad to make a feature out of them. I think this looks much better now. I've repotted my mint now that they've started to grow, and they're the first to get my new plant labels. I do have a chocolate mint, but I never use that, so I'm going to give that away. When you put any of these mints along with some lemon balm, it makes a delicious herbal tea. The honeyberries have some dainty yellow flowers. I moved them from the back of the garden. And my Daphne also has a lovely perfume, though it only has 2 flowers, so you have to get up really close to smell them, but it's worth it. One of my blueberry plants died, and I think this one is on its way out. But the others are looking good, however I didn't prune them over winter, so yeah, I'm just going to see how they get on. Something's been picking at my plum tree leaves, I'm not sure what. My Deutsch is sprouting new leaves, and this year I've actually pruned and tied in my clematis. Last year they were a bit of a mess. I used to have lots of verbena in the garden, but they grew too tall and straggly, so I pulled them out. But then I saw them in someone else's garden, they looked so good, so I asked her what she did with them. She said you need to cut them back so that they bush out. So luckily I had a few self-seeders that came up, so I've put them here and I will try again with them. The rose is looking great as usual. It's always so healthy and looks beautiful in all the seasons. Around it is looking bare. I wanted a path to be able to access the shrubs and the clematis so they wouldn't get out of control again, but I've not decided how I'm going to do that yet. Also, this is my favourite rose, so I want to give it some space. Still got a few things growing though. The sedum gets noticeably bigger week after week. The catmint is growing nicely, should fill this space. The verbascums aren't looking so great. Chef Lyra's doing fine. And the rosemary is resprouting after I hacked it back. And the clematis is looking so much neater than last year. Now I can access them. Got a lot of alliums coming through. And I've not got round to sorting this section out yet, so it needs a clean up and a mulch. Got Ericium, some little poppies, self-seeders I think. And my oriental poppy, which looked dead last year, but it's growing nicely this year. The bluebells are out of control in this garden, I need to pull more up. Yeah, so looking bare. I've decided not to really try anyway, not to buy any more perennials and just fill the gaps with annuals instead. But I'll see how I go on with that this year. Plum trees have opened up their first flowers, which is lovely to see. 2 years ago, I used to look out the window and see pigeons just pecking at all the buds on my fruit trees. So I bought these shiny things to hang from all the fruit trees, and hopefully it stops the pigeons from gobbling up the buds. It worked last year, and I haven't seen any pigeons on these trees this year. They sit on the fence, but not on the trees, which is a good thing. I have this plant which I keep pulling up every year and it grows back. I don't know what it is, but it needs to come out. It looks like a troublemaker. And every year I pull out Crocosmia from this very spot, but it looks like a little bulb has survived, so I might leave it there for now. I've mulched the clematis, and there's some fresh stems sprouting from the base, so I'll let them grow a bit. Then I'll add some canes to direct them to the fence. These pansies or violas have been flowering all autumn and all winter. They look a bit worse for wear now, but there's a rudbeckia in there I'm hoping to survive, so I'm going to leave them there as protection. Around the plum trees, another ericium, a lavender and a sedum. In the back there is a leucanthemum, which I'm not a massive fan of. It just looks like a big white daisy, but the white looks lovely against the blue of the ceanothus, and they'll flower at the same time, so that's why I've kept it there. My little border, some lovely bright red tulips and this weed, which is cute, so I've left it. Just got to make sure it doesn't spread. Forget-me-nots have started flowering this morning. They weren't there yesterday. And this heuchera I've placed here. I'll plant it here because it will go nicely with this euphorbia. This whole section just needs a refresh. My pond has had a bit of a clean. Still a bit more to do. I've got to put the pond plants back. But I've put in this fountain, which I was given as a present a few years back. It's very cloudy today, so you won't see any movement, but I thought it would go nicely here. Still a bit of duckweed, but a lovely reflection. So this is my slightly modified border. It looks the same from the front, but it has been extended. I've still got the right hand side to do around the pond, but the left hand side is pretty much finished, bar some annuals to go in. Where the stones are is where the border will come up to, so I've placed some of my plants here because they'll be added to this border at some point. I want to move the euphorbia in line with the one on the left, which suffered a bit after its move. You can see the difference. The malva's going strong, and the ladybird, which I'm not happy with. I've got so many ladybirds everywhere, but I never see them on my rows. And look at this. Green flies. Come on, ladybirds, you're not helping me out here. Anyway, the forsythia has been looking beautiful with its bright yellow flowers, but soon it will be covered in its lime green leaves. It's looking lovely though, especially with the yellow of the spirea, which is also beginning to turn green. So back here is a wild look. The cherry tree will soon be blossoming. And I'll be bringing this border in line with the paving. Now something's built a nest here. I haven't seen anything near it, but I try and keep away. I don't want to disturb anything if there is something in there. This plum was the first to blossom just a few days ago, and I haven't got round to this section yet, but the plants and the weeds are growing nicely here. So as planned, I have a bit more space around here. I kept my bay plant in this area and just underplanted it with a few plants to tie in with the rest of the section. So this is my new border. Most of the plants were already here. Some have been moved around. Some I had elsewhere, moved them up here. The only thing I bought were the tulips, 2 types. This one has a lovely pattern to its leaves, and it was just a few pound a pot, but there was lots of bulbs in a pot, so I just bought a pot and then just split them up and spread them along the border. I dug up one big geum from this area and then I chopped it up into little ones which I've spread around the border. There's some poppies, a heuchera. This section hasn't moved. I just dug out around the plants, so the hebe, the red tulip, the alliums, one of the hellebores has not moved. The salvia was already here but in a slightly different place, and the lavender was dug up from somewhere else. And I've got my apple twig. I still need to set it free and stake it properly. Now the grass. After extending the borders, I had a lot of grass left over, so I've used it here to raise the level of the lawn back here. My lawn isn't great. It looks okay, but to walk on it is very lumpy and bumpy, so I do need to level it out. But I thought, what's a few more lumps and bumps? So I've just laid the lawn that I dug up back here. So that's my new space. Now I have some space for someone to join me on one of the recliners, or I could probably fit in a few more garden chairs and maybe a little table here now. Onto my woodland area. Well, the pigeons like to sit on the branches above and poo everywhere, so my poor geranium and heuchera has been hit. I've got some nettles back here for the butterflies. I've yet to see any sign of them using them. I've only seen one butterfly in the past few weeks. I'll leave them there and I'll just keep on top of them so they don't spread too far. Everything's just growing okay here. To my delight, the hawthorn back here is alive and well, even though it's shaded out by this laurel. I'll place this fern here that will be planted when I get round to it. Fatsia needs some attention, and there's way too many bluebells. Some need pulling up. I'm going to plant my sarcococca here. And I've moved the magnolia here to give it one last chance of staying in the garden. It's probably my own fault it hasn't done well. I've moved it so many times. Probably haven't looked after it properly. But this will be the final position. And then if it doesn't work here, I'll just take it out. And hopefully my silver birch is alive. And a lot of spring flowers have come up. Oh, a pollinator, please go pollinate my fruit trees. I had extended this part very slightly just for symmetry, so I've placed some plants here that I'm going to plant here. This is the shady side of my garden, but I am going to have a go and see if they'll grow here. They should do, and it will help link the shady side to the sunny side, so I'm going to try and get more colour on the shady side. So at the moment I've put down some geums and rudbeckias. The soil will need some seeing to first. My Brunnera Jack Frost is flowering. I love the foliage on this plant, but I also like the forget-me-not type flowers, because when they're over, when they go over, the forget-me-nots will take over and I'll get a consistent look throughout the season. It also goes well with the yellow primroses I had. And the Photinia I finally placed here. We had a storm last week, so a lot of the larger daffodils, their stems have broken, so that's why you see there's so many daffodils collapsed everywhere. So all the deciduous trees and shrubs are starting to show their leaves. Got some tulips that have come through. The cosmia's coming through. Fern needs tidying up. The anemones are growing. And here's my little white border. There's ivy growing through this border, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. I do love ivy, but I don't want it to kill the other plants. My ice has come through the winter and my ferns have begun to unfurl. They've had a bit of a cut down and tidy up. And my Amelanchier is looking very beautiful. I just stand at the living room window a lot of the times and just look at it. I think this is the best season for it. And yeah, I just love the way it looks. It looks very pretty and I'm getting a lot of pleasure out of it at the moment. My favourite laurel is about to flower and my oldest Acer has survived another year. I'm excited to see that my Clematis is alive. I do need to add more wire for this new part, but the flowers are lovely and dainty. Even the unopened ones are so cute. I need to sort out all my pots. Still got lots of tidying to do. The pots need clearing out of the weeds. There's actually a hosta in here. So that needs sorting. But that's it. This is spring. Every day there's something new and even more to look forward to. So I hope you've enjoyed my update and I'll be back again in a month's time to show you what happened in April.